Amanda and welcome to Rainy Books with Amanda. Today I am going to be talking about the book Girl in Translation by Jean Kwok. So I'm going to go first over a little bit about our author. So Jean Kwok is the award-winning New York Times and international best-selling author of Searching for Sylvie Lee, Girl in Translation, and Mambo in Chinatown. Her work has been published in 20 countries and taught in universities, colleges, and high schools around the world. Jean immigrated from Hong Kong to Brooklyn when she was 5 and worked in a Chinatown clothing factory for much of her childhood while living in an unheated, roach-infested apartment. In between her undergraduate degree at Harvard and MFA in fiction at Columbia, she worked for 3 years as a professional ballroom dancer. Jean is trilingual, fluent in Dutch, Chinese, and English, and studied Latin for 7 years, and she lives currently in the Netherlands. So now I'm going to read a little bit about the synopsis for the book. After hearing about the author, you might hear some similarities when I'm reading the synopsis, so here we go. When young Kimberly Chang and her mother migrate from Hong Kong to America, they speak no English and own nothing but debt. They arrive in New York hopeful for a better life, but find instead a squalid Brooklyn apartment and back-breaking labor in a Chinatown sweatshop. Unable to accept this as her future, Kim decides to use her talent for school to earn a place for herself and her mother in their adopted country. Disguising the most difficult truths of her meager existence, Kim embarks on a double life, an exceptional student by day and a sweatshop worker by evening. In time, Kim learns to translate not just her language but herself back and forth between two worlds, between hardship and triumph, heartbreak and love, and all that gets lost in translation. I picked up this book because I was walking through half-price book and I was just looking around, kind of letting the books tell me what I wanted to read. It was that kind of day, and I saw this and I really liked the movie Lost in Translation, and so I saw Girl in Translation when I read the back. It really intrigued me, and I looked up the author and the author intrigued me. So I thought, why not give it a try? So as I was reading the synopsis, if you could tell, there's a little bit of similarities between the author's background and the book. And going into more about our author, Jean Kwok, she lived in a roach-infested apartment and she worked in a sweatshop and she fought her way out. And reading more on her website, she too felt like her talent was in school. And our main protagonist in the story, Kimberly Chang, she kind of really resembles our author in a way. And while this story is fictional, I think the similarities between real life and fiction kind of combine together to make this amazing, compelling book. And so because there's so many similarities to real life, it really feels like our characters are real. So Kimberly Chang, she is a very relatable character, and I know that probably more immigrants, specifically maybe Asian immigrants, can really relate to Kimberly and her struggles and her family struggles coming into America in the 1980s, I believe it was, and having to work their whole childhood. You know, people like to put that under the rug, but this book really brings that out. There's still illegal child labor still happening in America, and probably today, never know. But our author does a great job of bringing that to life and bringing our characters to life. And our other characters, like her mom is a great character that I think might resemble other moms that immigrate here from other countries that are trying to work their hardest for their kids, don't really know too much of the language, but rely on their children to help translate for them. And then we see Kimberly's best friend, Annette, who is so oblivious to everything, a little bit ignorant of what people go through in real life, but she's always there and deep, and she's still a good person. She's just blinded by her Caucasianness and her privilege. So these are all relatable characters that bring about this relatable story. And when characters are relatable, I feel like you root for them just a little bit more. At least for me, the whole time I was rooting for Kimberly and her mom to get out of their situation. They were pretty much placed into poverty, and I felt bad for them because they had kind of a decent life when they were living in Hong Kong, and then they come to America, brought by Kimberly's aunt, her mom's sister, her younger sister, only to be, and they thought that they would live kind of like, a decent life, only to find out that her aunt just never wanted them to succeed at all. Let them live in their conditions in the first place. And so I was rooting for them for so long to get out of that, to get out of their situation, to get out of the sweatshop and to move on. And then when kind of the big twist at the end, spoilers, so when, Kimberly finds out she's pregnant, I'm just kind of like, wow, like, I don't know if she's gonna be stuck. I feel like people in that situation can either get stuck or they push forward. I loved how Kimberly pushed forward, even though she did have to sacrifice something else to live her better life. When I say better life, I mean getting out of the cycle of poverty. I also think that the author does a great job of relaying the message that blood is not thicker than water. I am a big advocate for that. I believe family is important, but I believe your family is who you make it to be. And so I consider some of my closest friends my family. And in this story, everyone else, or almost everyone else, all of the close friends of Kimberly and her mother, even the appliance shopkeeper, were so much better to them than her aunt and uncle ever were to them. So I think that this is just pounded in there, because when Kimberly's thinking about getting her operation done, her mom and her best friend go with her. And then when we see Kimberly's love interest, Matt, his tragedy strikes, he goes to Kimberly, who is his friend. They've kind of grown up together the last few years that she had moved to Chinatown. So he confides in her, and I think that just really shows that, again, that blood is not thicker than water, and that you can find your family. They're out there. But yeah, I think the ending was kind of bittersweet for Kimberly. Kind of backtracking what I was talking about earlier. I just felt like again, she succeeded in one way, but she had to lose something in order to succeed. And I guess at the end, we all kind of have to sacrifice something, but it was just a little bit sad, and I felt bad, but also, I think at the end of the day, she was going to be okay. And did she make the right choice? I don't think it's for me to say, or anyone. I don't think there may have been a right choice, but I'm happy with where she's going, and I feel like the readers who read this story will agree, or will see that, or feel that as well, that, she didn't travel one path, but she took a different path, and she's gonna be okay. So yeah, I really loved reading Girl in Translation. I definitely recommend putting this one on your books to read list. I loved it. The characters were relatable. The whole story is relatable. I love the message behind everything. I love Kimberly, and I think you're just gonna really enjoy the story and learning more about the author, and just learning more Chinese proverbs. That was kind of cool too. Yeah, definitely recommend this book. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and until next time, happy reading.